Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the shop, and today we're going to be discussing a little bit more about suspension when it comes to your UTV. So we're going to be using my 2017 Wildcat Trail as an example, and in my previous video we discussed what would happen if you were to put spacers underneath your coil springs. How much would you gain? I'll be linking that video in the description box or up here in the corner if you guys want to watch that. So today's video is going to be based on adding a separate lift kit, and you're going to see what happens. So today's video, guys, I was going to come in here into the shop and I was going to talk about a lift kit again. So to recap, I added these 1.5 inch spacers. They're literally just ABS piping that I purchased from the store, and I found that if I added this 1.5 inch spacer and I kept the same adjustment from the factory, which was I believe 2 inches up, I gained about 2.5 inches of total lift. Albeit it became stiff. I mean, just by pressing on the front, I was able to just determine that the suspension is going to be stiffer. However, it will benefit from that extra height. What I was going to tackle today is there's a different lift altogether that you can purchase. Oh, and by the way, you can purchase a kit that comes with these spacers all nicely made of billet aluminum or something like that. I'm cheap and I like to do things DIY, so I opted for this. It really, honestly, it cost me $6.73 total to get 4 of these couplers in a little bit of time. So today what I was going to do is, there's another kit that's available, there's a couple of them, that will relocate the top shock mount slightly out and lower, and they claim 2 to 3 inches of lift doing it that way. And naturally, again, me being cheap and DIY as much as I do, I was going to go in here today and just actually start cutting and hacking into some old material I have. I have a welder, I've got a grinder, I've got a measuring tape, and a couple of other tools that would have allowed me to make a very similar setup to what you can buy for about $250 Canadian in my area. Then something happened. When I pulled the shock to kind of reset everything back to the way it was factory-wise, I was going to pull this spacer out so I could get, apples to apples comparison. I noticed something pretty dramatic in the sense that I don't know if that other lift is going to do anything at all. Check this out. So as I pull the bolt, this is the only sag I get. That is all I have. Now I wonder, how is an inch of sag gonna give me 2 to 3 inches of lift? And how do I know it's 1/2 inch? Well, that's because, of course, I measured it. So what I have here, sorry, camera's a little bit bouncy today. My measuring tape is actually magnetic, so it's sticking to the bottom suspension component here, like basically our lower ball joint. And I'm going to be measuring from the ground with the measuring tape like this. So right now we're just shy of 32 inches, right? Now I thought maybe something was holding me up, like for example, the sway bar. So I disconnected the sway bar here to make sure that we in fact only have about 1/2 inch of sag. Now let's pull the bolt again. See if I can do this with one hand while I'm filming. Got it. All right, now let's let it sag. Come back down here. Take our measurement. What do we got? Just about 1/2 inch. So with that being said now, rather than spending the money on a kit, which I don't know how it would really work, and if you guys know, please comment down below in the comment section, because I still don't understand. I can't compute why that would actually give me a 2.5 inch to 3 inch lift. And rather than spending a whole bunch of hours manufacturing a kit that I don't think is going to do much, I'm going to keep my spacers and I'm just going to play with the preload to get somewhere, to get it into a happy space. Like I don't need 2.5 inches, which I gained. I'm going to probably let it sag a little bit. And if I can gain about an inch and a quarter overall, it's probably going to make the ride a little stiffer, which hopefully I can live with. But one also very, very important thing that I noticed when I took these off was that these Fox shocks are in need of some rebuild. Now, the two front shocks for sure, because I haven't done the rear yet, are probably low on oil, because with the shocks set up the way they are, there is a dead zone of about 2 inches. I measured that on the bench. Then I thought to myself, well, maybe I'm going to flip them, because if I flipped them, they actually worked okay. So until I can find a place to get them rebuilt or maybe upgrade to a different shock, I'm going to run them upside down, and that's what I'm going to do now. So I'm going to leave the comments to you guys. What do you guys think? Do you run a lift on your UTV? If you do, tell me what you think of it. And how would you go about lifting this unit in particular without sacrificing ride quality? Because I could have went out and bought a different machine, such as like a Prowler or whatever, but I chose the Wildcat in the ArctiCat line because I love the suspension that comes with it. So again, I'm turning to you guys. Tell me what you think. How would you approach it? And that's going to be the video for today. A little bit of a short one, but I appreciate you guys all coming to the shop, discussing a little bit of suspension with me. I always enjoy it. Hope you guys did too. Thank you so much, and we'll catch you guys next time. For those who are wondering why I got the idea of running the shocks upside down, it's because the rears are actually set up backwards. They're upside down like this. And yes, you can in fact set the front upside down. I got it bolted up right now, but you will have to make sure that you clock the rear spring cap so that you don't get any binding on your A-arm. And with the shocks flipped, no more bouncing.